You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders to protect their churches with clarity and confidence. Today, we're tackling a question most pastors don't think about until something has already happened. And that is what you do when your building is damaged and your church can't meet. We will discuss the importance of business interruption insurance. We will talk about what it is, why churches need it, and how it becomes a lifeline that keeps your church's mission moving forward even after a disaster. Most churches think of insurance as protecting the building. Business interruption coverage is designed to cover lost income and operating expenses when a covered event, such as a major wind and hailstorm, prevents a business or religious organization from operating. It can cover things like lost giving during the shutdown, rent for a temporary location, payroll, loan, or mortgage payments, and extra expenses you never expect, like renting sound equipment or buying portable classrooms. For Chase, that meant the difference between shutting down ministry activity and keeping everything moving without missing a Sunday. Texas is a state where the weather can rule the day. We get hailstorms that destroy roofs, straight line winds that flip fences and rip off siding, and freeze events that burst pipes and flood entire wings of a building. And any one of these events can put a church out of its facility for weeks or months. When that happens, giving often drops and expenses pile up. The church can quietly slip into financial distress, even when the damage wasn't their fault. Business interruption coverage fills that gap so your church can continue its mission. Business interruption is tied to a property claim. If the event that damaged your church is covered, the interruption coverage can activate too. It calculates what your church normally brings in through giving, facility rentals, preschool tuition, special events, and then replaces those dollars while you're displaced. It also pays the necessary costs to get you operating again. Chase's church needed a temporary meeting spot and had to rent equipment and cover payroll. His interruption coverage stepped in and kept the church steady until they could reopen. Here's the part that many church leaders don't realize. Not every church policy automatically includes business interruption coverage. And even when it is included, the limits might not be enough to truly sustain your church's ministry activities during a long rebuild. This is why working with an experienced church insurance specialist matters. Someone who understands your ministries, your facility, your financial structure, and your risk exposure before anything bad happens. This is why we created our True Texas Church Insurance Program. If you're not sure whether your church has business interruption coverage or whether the limits are adequate, don't guess. Visit insurancefortexans.com and our church insurance specialist will walk you through your policy and show you exactly where you stand. And if you want a clear roadmap for protecting your church from the unexpected, grab a copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. It gives pastors and church leaders a practical way to reduce risk, increase confidence, and keep your church thriving no matter what comes your way. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been another episode of Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Thanks for listening. Until next time, remember, storms may shake your building, but they don't have to shake your church's mission.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.